Indeed, we have confirmation that there was a hostage drama in a hotel 300 kilometers out of Bamako, which is the capital city of Mali. So the whole situation has been brought down to normalcy. By that I mean that the security forces have been able to access the hotel, and they have now taken over the hotel. They've managed to release those of the hostages that they could save. We also have confirmation of 7 deaths or victims that died in that hostage-taking drama. What we will not be able to divulge at the moment is a confirmation of those 3 South Africans, if they are, until the authorities have managed to check their belongings and confirm the actual identities. They have to confirm the identities of all the 7 victims and then communicate with our embassy. Our embassy staff is constantly in touch. One of them is actually on the ground from Bamako, and they are monitoring the situation, and they're giving us update almost after every 30 minutes. In fact, before we came in here now, I also spoke to them, and they confirmation, 7 casualties. We are unable to say so many South Africans because we have to follow consular procedures. If we've been unlucky as South Africans and would have lost some of our citizens, we need to communicate with next of kin first, after we would have gotten confirmation from the security people from Mali.
Minister, the issue of terror, it's quite a challenge. We are having a SADC meeting very soon, that is in a week's time. And then, of course, the United Nations General Assembly. Are these issues likely to be part of the agenda in these multilateral organization summit or meetings, you know?
Very true. We, as SADC, as members as very much integral part of the African Union. And in the meeting that I chaired on the 25th of July in Addis, South Africa is chairing the African Union Commission on Peace and Security Council for the month of July. We focus on all peace and security issues of the continent, but we also looked at the issues around preventative diplomacy, early warning mechanisms that they be strengthened. You know, we've got an early warning center as the continent stationed in Algeria. So what is important is that through our State Security Department and all other, the security cluster departments, we are working together with our countries in our neighborhood of SADC and broadly in the continent, but also international. So they are constantly in touch because we think that terrorism is the next big threat which can undermine all efforts of the global community as we strive to work on, correcting not only the wrongs, but challenges that came with the economic meltdown of 2008.
Minister, the other issue is the instability in countries such as Burundi and particularly the Great Lakes region. During your tenure as the chair of the Peace and Security Council at the AU, were you able to touch on these matters? What is the way forward to addressing the challenge of Burundi in particular?
Well, the fact that you've said Great Lakes is that if we were to get a sustainable peace, security, and development in our continent, we also have to spend time in the Great Lakes. Burundi is one such a country, so we work together with regional bodies there, the EAC, the East Africa Community. We work together with the ICGLR. As far as Burundi is concerned, yesterday we received the Foreign Minister of Burundi, who had come here to update us about developments post-elections in Burundi, that they would love South Africa to remain seized or working together or supporting the efforts of the East African community. They still remember fondly the contribution South Africa through our President Jacob Zuma, then as an envoy of President Mandela, and the contribution he had made 10 years ago in working together with the EAC, East Africa community, to finally bring the Burundi together. And there has been relative peace and calm and development in Burundi for the past 10 years. So it's not in anyone's interest, in any of the neighborhoods' interest, that they should go back to where they were before the Arusha Accord.
And finally, Minister, this is a Women's Month, particularly in South Africa. Women are celebrating their achievements in terms of what the women fought for during the dark days of apartheid. On international perspective, are we there?
Well, you mean us as South Africa?
As a country, and particularly women in the continent in general?
It's quite humbling. Let me say, starting with, greeting and saluting in Bogoto, the women, the rock of our nation, women of this country, South Africa, past, present, and future. To say we are just 21 years in this journey, we still have to do more beyond this. In this year of radical economic transformation as the focus and the theme of this conference here, to just look at how do women also get their bite in this, is that the rights of women are also human and economic rights, are not just about August. But August is a month that helps us to take stock that since 1956, since 1994, what have we achieved? It's not just about celebrating the achievements, but it's also about looking at the challenges that we are looking at in the future. We must continue working and evolving into making the lives of ordinary South Africans, and particularly women, better. Internationally, I'll start with our neighborhood. We had guests here from our neighborhood, again, former liberation movements. I wish, and I'm sure you were there, in the media, they all were praising the example they want, just the path that the ANC Women's League and the South African government and women of South Africa at large had chosen. They say, can we keep the eye on the ball? Because when they do things in their own countries, they say we want to be like the women of South Africa. This is 2015. It's a year that we are also looking at post-2015 Millennium Development Goals. Achievements, yes, but post-Millennium Goals development. How have the international community taken care of special needs of women? In our continent, we're still fighting patriarchy, we're fighting triple oppression, we are fighting for equality of women, not only in the political field, which is equally important, but also in the economic sector. So we say, we think we have moved a few miles ahead, but we are not satisfied because we're just 21 years into our freedom. But we are encouraged by the messages of those who look at us from outside, that they think they push their own government saying, we want to be like South Africa.